Hey there, welcome to the Christian Media Marketing Show. My name is John. Thanks for ending your year. If you're watching this as it's coming out, whenever you're watching it, we are thankful that you're spending some time with our Kavanaugh Media team. This podcast, the YouTube show, is a result of our whole team putting this together. I'm the voice and the face, but the work that we do at Kavanaugh is because of a team, a group of great people who love Jesus and who are really good at what they do and are really trying to lean into that one area, that one niche to be able to say, all right, this is how we want to help the kingdom. And as we look back, as the year, as I'm recording this, is getting ready to come to an end, I find myself looking back and taking stock. What happened this year? What good things happened? What challenging things happened? What do we want to happen next year? And it's that same kind of thing as the year ends and as we look to a new year, that it's normal to be thinking about goals and to be thinking about, all right, what do we want? How are things going? It could be your health, it could be your mental health, it could be relationships, it could be anything. But what I'd like to share with you today briefly is just how to do an end of year audit on your digital engagement strategies, the platforms, your content, all of that kind of stuff. Now, this could be a super long video. If I went into the statistical analysis tools like that we use and things like that, I'm not going to do that. I want to keep this very high level for you all and just talk about some key things that I really want to encourage you to reach out and think about as you're looking at all your content and be researching. Think about what things do you not know? What do you want to be learning on? All that kind of stuff. All right. And so this is going to be a high level overview, but this is the process that we do for the teams and the organizations that we get the honor of serving. And so let's dive in and look at what kind of things I think would be really important to be looking at for your end of year audit. All right. So first and foremost, when you're getting into your social media, your digital engagement audit, I want you to think about a few things here. So there's a few key items I really want you to lean in on. If you get this opportunity with your team, it'd be even better to do that. But the first one is just access and security. It's a great time at the end of the year to go through and look, all right, what accounts do we have? Who has access to our accounts? Is it the right security levels? Is everything set up right? Is everything verified? Is there information that needs to be put in? Is there verifiable type of information that needs to be put in for like Meta to be verified? Is all the two-factor authentication, the passcodes, all of that stuff, is everything done right? And it's very possible that you have some platforms or you have some areas that may not be up to date and may not be, using the most current information with it. One key area I really would like for you to lean into, besides just your social media channels, is your website. That is a major area of attack when it comes to cyber attacks. So on your evangelistic website, check all of your plugins. Are they up to date? That's like the number one thing that you can do. Be checking who has access to your website. Look for every name. Make sure you recognize it. The same thing if you're using tools like Disciple Tools or anything else that's running on a website, be checking who has access to it. All right. So check the security and check the access because that's going to be really, really important. Your work could end immediately if your accounts get hacked. And even worse, people's lives could be put at risk. So the next thing I would really encourage you to do is just do a full year look at stats. Sometimes we get really down in the weeds and we're looking at stuff day after day or week over week, and we miss some of the big trends. So when you're looking through this, look at your results. Look at video views, look at click-through rate, look at the website landing page views that happen, look at how many people opened your instant experience, look at how many comments you had, look at your engagement, look at what types of engagement did you get throughout the year. So that's the first part that you need to be looking at. And as you're doing that, begin to look for big trends as you're doing it. All right. And so this is where you're looking at, and you can begin to see, oh, over the year, this was our best at objective when we do this. This is the best time of day. This is the best type of content. Maybe it's a picture, maybe it's a video. You see, a lot of times marketers are getting marketed. And so there's all sorts of new stuff that's out there, and people are always trying to push the newest thing and the latest thing. And there's nothing wrong with that, and it's good to be looking into it. But if you're jumping from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, you're not going to get the long-term results. What we're not looking for here is just getting a bunch of stats and not doing anything from it. That is literally just trivia. So it's used either to go, oh, look at this, or it's used just for fundraising to say, look at our numbers. But what I'm wanting you to do is to dive deeper into it and really begin to look for what things stand out to you. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit. One of the key areas of that is to just look at the spending. How did your budget impact what you are doing? If you were to spend more, will that mean an increase? If you are going to spend more, where would you spend it? And so thinking about that, that's a key thing to think about. If this was coming out of your, not your budget allowance, but like your family's income level, would you spend the money? Where would you spend the money? This is one of those things that I think I am appreciative of the business world, is because we understand that time is money, that tools that we use are money. Everything comes back to resources. And yes, there are things that are out there that are free, maybe to you, but they're not free to others. Everyone is paying for it. And sometimes when we're on support, then we lose that idea of the scarcity. Don't hear me wrong. I'm not saying that people don't respect the funds that the donors are giving to them. What I'm saying is that when just month after month, regardless if you're doing well or you're not, if your ads are doing well or they're not, your donors would potentially keep giving to you. But in the business world, if you're selling things and you're not selling them, you're not getting an increase in income. You're not getting any income coming in. So it's that kind of mindset of really looking at, wow, what if this was your kid's college fund and that was the money you were spending from this? Where would you spend it? So think about it in that kind of a mindset. I know the Lord has all of the resources we need. So I'm not trying to say from a scarcity mindset, but really looking into it of, hey, I want to make sure that every dollar accomplishes the mission that we're trying to do. So look at your spending and look at those results that you were looking at. And that's where then these trends will begin to show up. So, for example, we've noticed there's about 300 and I don't know, 350, somewhere around that amount of accounts that we have access to that we're seeing. So we truly have a global picture about what's happening. It's not just one org, it's multiple orgs, multiple teams. Many of them we get to serve. Some of them we're just on an ad hoc when they need help type of basis. We're able to come in there and help them. But we are seeing the trends that are happening. Fourth quarter, this last quarter that just ended, the cost in many, many locations around the world went up. Well, that makes sense because everybody's trying online selling in that last quarter. So that drives up the prices. So don't be alarmed if all of a sudden your cost per message has gone up. Look for the long-term trends. Year after year, what are you noticing? Is the volume going up? The amount of messages? Is the quality of them going up? Is the cost going down? That's what we would be looking for, and then making adjustments there. That's the key thing. So we want to look and see what's happening, what is good, what is bad, and then make plans from there. And I'll talk more about that in just a little bit. Stepping outside of just your accounts and your statistics. All right. So just not just doing a chi-square analysis or doing deeper level statistical analysis. And we do that for the largest org that we get the honor of serving. I went through and did a very detailed statistical analysis of all accounts, looking for some of these global trends and then regional trends as well, because it does vary. And you can do all sorts of ones. I don't think you have to go super deep to begin to see some of these trends that are happening. All right. So just look through your accounts, look at the year, see what you notice. If you've been doing this for more than a year, looking back will help you a lot there. All right. So get all of that, get it on a spreadsheet. That's going to help you as you continue to do this year after year. Also, I would encourage you to do a SWOT analysis. So what areas are you doing well? What areas are you weak? What opportunities do you have? What threats are you facing? And by that, on your digital engagement accounts. What's working well? Maybe it's messaging ads. Maybe it's messages using a video clip, whatever it might be. And you could go, we're doing well on this, but where are you weak? Maybe you're getting lots of comments, but not a lot of messages. So it's one sense, I want you to do a SWOT analysis on your ads, but even more importantly, think about your team. Who do you have? Is your team all in on this? What areas are you strong? What areas are you weak? What opportunities do you have as a team or an organization to grow in this next year? But what are the threats that are out there as well? And it's those kind of things, the threats, that I find myself spending a lot of time thinking about for Kavanaugh and those who we serve. What happens when these accounts get shut down or we lose access or something is hacked? What happens when a person on the team uh, has to leave or gets sick or whatever else that's happening? So we have gone through and really mapped out our own very specific to us, to our platform and what we do, a scenario-based planning. If this has happened, this is what we would do. If this happens, this is what we would need to do. And it's mapped out. These are the key things. And this is what we would do right away. And this is who we would notify, all of those kind of things. So really taking a professional view for what it is that you're doing in your digital engagement, what strengths, weaknesses, opportunities that you have, and threats. And then when it comes to the opportunities, the final thing that I would encourage you is to think about, what do you want to test this next year? Maybe it's a platform. Maybe it's a type of ad. Maybe it's you want to get a better camera, or maybe you want to use short form, or maybe you want to do a whole Creation to Christ series and you want to test that out. And I would encourage you to do that. All right. Find one or two things and really map it out. Now, in the business world, they call this growth hacking, but you're going to take something and you're going to say, this obsessive curiosity is really what I'd love for you to have. It's just sit there and go, but I wonder if we did this. I wonder what would happen if we did this. And so you run these very small tests for maybe 1 week or so, and you begin to look at it. And one test isn't definitive. Then you have to go back and go, okay, what would we do next? Or what do we want to test next? It's that kind of a mindset of testing that helps you not get caught up in the fads of the shiny new objects or models or whatever else are out there. And they'll help you really think about, this is what's working. This is what we want to test. And this is what we want to see if it will help us as we are the work that you are doing or that we are doing. So really think about testing. It could be when you run your ads, it could be where you run your ads, it could be how you respond. Maybe it's using tools like Next Steps or some sort of chat bot or whatever you might want to use. Think about in this coming year, what do you want to test? All right, so I hope that's helpful for you, just spurring you. Maybe it's just thinking through, we need to do a year-end audit. And so if you've never done it before, gather all your data, get it on a spreadsheet, because let's say you're using Meta products, they're not there forever. So maximum is only a certain period of time. So really make sure that you're recording all of this, using the same systems, using the same things, auditing everything you're doing, looking at it from a cybersecurity perspective. And this will help you as you launch out and continue to try to make the Lord famous here in 2024. This may be it. This may be the final year. This may be our final day. We never know for sure. And so my hope is that we continue to find ways to push forward together. We're trying that. I am trying my best to try to find income sources so that we don't have to charge anyone for any of the organizations or teams that we serve. That's our goal, is to be able to give away everything that we do. And to that goal, that's what we're pressing into. And we want to really be good at what it is that we do and make sure that we partner well with others who do a good job and the stuff that they do. So it's just that kind of a mindset of looking forward to the future, that we want to finish well. No matter how long that you and I have, let's always do our best to make Jesus famous, find ways to work together, and to make sure that in all things, he gets the glory. So I hope 2023 was a great year for you and for your ministry. And I hope, if the Lord tarries, that 2024 will be even better. Until next time, take care and God bless.